and we'll get this show on the road. Let me go ahead and share too. Awesome, awesome. All right. So, welcome to the call tonight. It is September 24th, 2025. We're about to kick off quarter four. And if you are on this call, that means you want to rock your business in some sort of way, either be more confident in sharing the opportunity or you're just peeking at it. So, we'll start with talking a little bit just who am I? So, my name is Brittany Metke Powers. I am a mom of four humans, four dogs, and three cats. I am married and I live outside of Columbus, Ohio. So I joined Farmasi February 7th. After being in my former company for 7 years, I found that company, direct sales, social selling, influencer marketing, whatever you want to call it, by accident in 2017. Essentially, I had no idea what I was doing when I was invited to a party. So, what intrigued me was I was kind of at my life had been kind of crazy up and down. I had struggled with addiction for years, and because of that, I got these 7 felony convictions. Changed my entire life. I now was a mom working really hard. I was a server for, server bartender for 10 years, but it was just like a cycle, a cycle of dropping the kids off at daycare. Every month was paycheck to paycheck. I had payday loans. I was on welfare. And because of those 7 felonies, I literally could not um, advance, like background checks for everything. Honestly, those 7 felonies, I wasn't even able to volunteer for my daughter at Girl Scouts. So they stopped me a lot. And I was offered the position to be a manager at Red Lobster. I thought that was going to be amazing. I did all this stuff. And then it turned out that they weren't going to be able to move forward because of the felony convictions, which were over a decade old at that point. So I get invited to this Facebook party. My friend, it looks super fun. And I honestly did not know that this was like a type of industry. What attracted me is she's like, yeah, you can do it by yourself and on your own, and like essentially starting your own business without a risk. And I was like, okay. And that's kind of how I found the industry. I had 200 friends on Facebook. Up until then, I was a server bartender, and I literally I became obsessed. I became totally obsessed. I was watching all the things about it, and I wanted to be one of those people at the top. So what happened in those 7 years is things took off. I ended up building a very huge team of 35,000 reps. We had $380 million in sales, and I personally earned $5 million. That's why I believe in the industry. It changed my life. It did more than even being a manager at Red Lobster ever could. And that was like my big, big dream at the time. So also, I have been able to see it change so many other people's lives in that way. And I know that story is very big, but also when I signed up, it was just to earn $500. Most people just want about $200 to $500 a month. That's more realistic. And so I'm going to share why we picked Farmasi. All of us are here because we're definitely obsessed with it. So that's just a little background story on me, and I would be your upline, one of your upline leaders here if you joined us on the Real Deal Dream Team. So Farmasi has a few core values. Everything they do is going to be around product, opportunity, service, trust, global, and innovation. So when they're making a decision for the company, we're a global company, they're always looking at these things. So the company is 75 years old. But when you look at the products, you're going to see they're updated, they're on trend, they're constantly changing what's going to be better for different markets. Is it going to have a global appeal? So much stability. So we're going to go over you'll see when you're listening to me how these values go in every decision they make. Our founder is Dr. C. Tuna. This is the great grandfather of the president and CEO right now. He is actually why we're here. He literally went to become a pharmacist, lived in Turkey, went to Germany, came back, and it's kind of cool. I got to visit Turkey, and I saw like started making medicine, and then he started selling the medicine to these pharmacies in Turkey, and it took off, and that's where the name came from. And it all started with a little vision of him doing that, and then became so much bigger. So these are Dr. C. Tuna's grandson. This is who's running Farmasi right now, Sinan and Emery Tuna. You're going to see we're in 70 years of quality and innovation, over 7 million pharmacy influencers worldwide, which is insane to me because we have, we're such a very small market in North America, which Canada, US. We're the number one direct selling company in Turkey. That's where we're based out of, and number 27 globally. And we have presence in over 40 countries. You are also, when you're here, you're able to have a global business. So if you have friends in other countries, they can shop with you, they can enroll with you, and it's really easy, honestly. And they're always constantly growing. I know right now there's companies that are having to shut down markets, not Farmasi. We're growing. They just announced we're going to be in Germany, we're going to be in Ireland. Was it Ecuador? And so we're constantly doing things to expand versus the opposite right now. This just kind of gives you a timeline of just to kind of show the stability of how every single year there has been advancements in pharmacy since since Dr. Tuna was born in 1923, when he graduated medical school, when he started creating his own formulas, the brand being born in 2004, right? And then when it became to direct selling in Turkey in 2010, you'll kind of see how it goes. When 2016, we were in 16 countries. 2019 is when US. So that's when we just started. 2021 was Mexico, Canada. 2022, Dominican Republic. Then you got Spain. It's just growth. And in fact, this year we had just opened a warehouse right to help Canada. So there's always things that they're doing to invest in the field, and you're never going to see like things are being taken back or scaling back. It's all focused on growth, innovation. This is a core of how my biggest thing when I was looking at Farmasi was like, how are they able to do it? How are they able to make such good products, keep them priced low while also paying generously without all these different fees and stuff like that? Pharmacity is going to be the answer. They own and operate the world's largest cosmetic and supplement manufacturing facility. They make everything from raw ingredients to packaging to literally everything. So there's no middleman. You'll go there, you'll see you'll see fields of lavender where if they're for oil, you'll see like where they're making the colors for. It's insane. Anyone's invited to this. However, you can earn the trip to Turkey where they pay for it. All there, and then they also are constantly looking all over the world to find the best for research and development. So he shares like how he went to Germany and found where the tools we use to make lipstick. Like they're always constantly looking around to get the best, and then they acquire it, and then it becomes Farmasi's. And we're going to talk a little bit about the product soon to what that looks like. Here's just like an overhead shot, and I'm sure it's grown. It has grown since then. You'll see when you go there, you'll see like where it started and the expansion from it. There's even like a hotel with a pool where influencers can come stay. There's an auditorium. It's really cool. This is daytime overhead view. So all that comes to the products. We're here because of the products, right? And it's a huge catalog. That was actually overwhelming to me at first. And it was honestly one of my objections. One of my objections was how, that's just too much. Do I have to know it all? That just is not the case. What I have found and what I have learned is, for one, I don't have to be a professional of every single product. However, there is something there for everybody that I know. So that's only going to be a win-win. So what I do is I incorporate almost everything here now on a daily basis, because we have all the skincare, hair care, we have wellness, we have makeup. So I'm just sharing what I'm personally using. And then you might run, and when you're doing that, someone might be like, oh, well, do they have X, Y, and Z? I may not be a professional on that, but I can simply search and see that we have it. And so this is all branded around affordable luxury. They look at what's trending, they look at what we need a need for. And so NutriPlus is actually the newer edition, but it has such growth. So we just they're always reformulating, like I said, what's on trend, making it healthy. And the biggest thing about our products that I think goes along because of the pricing is they are EU certified, which we'll talk about. But essentially, what that means it's one of the strictest requirements. Over 2,000 chemicals are banned in the EU. That's how they're able to have operations in UK and stuff, while only like a dozen are banned here in the US. So I know a lot of times we want to be like, oh yay, proud, made in the USA, but that actually, yes, of course we want to support our country, but that means that they don't have to go through the strict requirements of having to ship from the EU customs and stuff like that. And so that is one of the amazing things. So you'll see it's high quality, almost duplicatable or even better than these brands, especially our wellness. Our wellness is one of the most affordable brands I've ever seen with the quality and the ingredients, makeup as well, skincare as well. And that's not all. We even have fragrances. We have a whole hair care line, self-care items. Constantly, there's so many different things. They're always doing launches and keeping it fresh and on trend. So while I thought that it was overwhelming, what I've seen is I've had people that I've wanted to talk to and support me that weren't able to because what I was representing before was super niche. So they weren't interested. Here, everyone washes their hair, and if they don't, they wash their face, and if they don't, they care about their wellness, and if they don't, they care about how they smell, and if they don't, you know what I mean? You get the point. There's something for every single person. And I do love that it's also very natural in promoting because it is a lifestyle brand. So, today on social media, that's how things are being sold. Influencers are just like doing get readies with me and talking, or get unreadies with me or talking, or, making their shake. It feels very, very organic. And that is also why we'll see people having a lot of success here. Over 70 years of quality and innovation, we brand ourselves as affordable luxury. There's constant product launches every month. And like these are essential products. That was another thing I have seen over my years in the industry of big trends. Oh my gosh, there was a minute like the number one company for a while was magnetic eyelashes. The number one company for a while were people doing these wraps. Those are trends and fads that fade. And what we have here is products that people have been using for 70 years. When they cut back, they might cut back on buying those wraps or magnetic eyelashes, but people are always still going to want to wash their skin with good products. They're still going to want to take care of their hair. They're still going to want to take care of their body. They're still going to want to feel good with makeup. So they're essential. They're going to be something that people still want to purchase no matter what. It's not a trend. We know these items are here to stay. Obviously, people have been washing their face for how long, right? So it's nothing like, oh, this is just a hot product. You have to convince someone to even be open to it because it seems so wild. So the company I was with, I love the product. I still wear it on my toes, but it was such a weird idea to people. It took a lot for me to even get someone to try a sample. They're like, oh my gosh, like, what are you saying? It was just so like a new concept to them. This isn't like new to people, if that makes sense. The opportunity to have a global business is amazing. We have people on our team from UK right now, Canada, Mexico, and I think we even have a few other representations now. However, my dream is to be all over the globe, and we have the potential to do that, and it's really cool, and everyone's supported everywhere. One of the things that really stood out to me about Farmasi is when, again, and I've said it already, but when lots of companies are having to scale back, cut compensation plans, they still invest. And one of their evidence of investing is that they opened their North America headquarters in Miami a little over a year ago. This is actually why I believe that they've helped some of the boom that you're seeing in North America right now, even though they launched in 2019. Because having this here in Miami, what happens is they now ship the products from Turkey right to Miami. So when we order in the US, or it's going to come right from here, right? So quicker shipping times, all of that, more of a presence now. But this is a really cool warehouse that, again, any person can visit. That's really, really cool because my home office before, you had to either earn by being a top producer or be the top ranks to even get an invite there. If you toured the warehouse, they took your phone. Here, they're completely transparent. They want you to see everything. They want you to be a part of it. You don't even have to be an influencer. You could be in Miami and you want your friend to try some shakes. You call, you go to their NutriPlus lounge and book it and try some of the products. You know what I mean? Bring a friend and go try on some of the makeup and stuff. But that's just how welcoming it is. It's a 70,000 square foot building. It's an automatic distribution center. So think again, innovation, innovation. This is a huge company, operates largely, but so many things are automated. Think of Amazon. It's really, really cool how their warehouse operates because they're always thinking of the future and scaling for growth. And so again, this is new. You know, they had a COVID boom. They took $50 million of that revenue and invested it cash to develop this. And like I said, that's such a big deal when you've seen so many other companies have to scale back, close, cut compensation plans, cut trips, cut markets, take away the direct sales part. They're like, how can we invest to help the field even more? Any of their warehouses or Farmasi are eco-friendly. They have a zero waste policy. Everything is going to be reused. That's really important to them at their, you'll see it all over when you walk around. And so they like to contribute to a bigger, better future and a legacy that way too. So always thinking about the future and like how they can make things better. You'll hear legacy, legacy, legacy. One of my most favorite things about the industry, I always say, even if I didn't make a paycheck, the community is where it's at. I don't know if you guys can get like making a friend as an adult is hard. And so I feel like that's just one of the added bonuses of when you become a part of our community is you just get that instant support. And maybe you have the same goals or different goals, same background or not. Everyone is there cheering whatever that looks like, wanting to help you learn. If you're in our group chat and just look, people are answering questions, And so even if say you sign up under a friend and they have to go on a vacation for a week and they can't answer you, you won't ever feel alone. There are so many resources. And so I would be one of your uplines, but I joined on a team, a very strong uplines that also have resources that are insane, actually. Like their influencers were actually under the #1 top earner in the company. She's done a training for our team. The company does training. So we have our real dream team community, which is pretty large at this point. And then there's communities within that, but then there's communities outside of that too. And so I really feel like that is just one of the perks that have come with the industry is the community, and you're never alone and never without resources. So there are 10 ways to earn. 3 of those ways are going to be like with products, where you can get freebies. We have a welcome program where just by hitting certain goals, you can get freebies. We have every single month an incentive point where you can get freebies. If you grow your team, you can get free products. Then you also can earn by getting orders placed through your website. And I'm going to go ahead and see if I can cut to that. Yeah, let's just, break it down simple, easy peasy. 50% commissions. This is the biggest thing. Go on TikTok Shop. Go try to be an affiliate without this. It's always going to be you're making $1 on something. 3% commission, 10% commission. Go look at other direct sales opportunities. 25% commission, maybe up to 45% commission if you're selling $4,000 a month. Here, it's 50% commission day one, no matter what. You sign up today, you sell a $50 item, you're going to get $25 in 3 days. It's really as simple as that. You sell 100, you earn 50. And so that I think is the most appealing. You're not going to see that anywhere else without some type of catch. There are certain companies that say 50% commission, but when you dig in, you have to have certain amount of PV to get that, you know. Here it's offered to everyone. And then what's also really cool is as an influencer, you automatically shop with 50% off. So some companies you would pay retail and then you get that commission back later once they pay it. Here it's not. So that's also really appealing if you maybe have like a boutique or a hair salon and you want to display it, you shop at wholesale and you charge it at retail. Or just for your own products, that attracts a lot of people that are just like, okay, I now have a wellness routine. I'm just going to sign up for an influencer and I'm going to shop at my 50% discount. Because we have a volume based compensation plan, it does attract people that might want to be a kidnapper, and that's fine. It's different than other companies where if someone kidnaps, for one, they're always going to be in a negative because there's a website fee and all that. We don't have any of that. Here, volume is volume. You don't need Susie to hit a certain level and Karen to hit a certain level for you. It doesn't matter. It's just based on volume. So I really love that. And when you talk about that's really the core of the compensation plan, that it's 50% commission. And then we are volume based, and you do have the potential to get paid on your, if you have a team, whatever you want to call that, your organization. So people, if you have people sign up under you, whether to be influencers or just for a discount, that volume, you can also get extra bonuses on that as well. Definitely reach out if you want to dig into that more. Reach out to the person that invited you to the call, but you can earn up to 20. There's a 25% level, and then there's extra generations, and then there's even, gosh, I think we have it. There's these one-time crazy bonuses that you can earn here, up to $943,000 if you add them all up. So this is going to be on top of what you're making on your sales, what you're making if you decide to have a team. Then say you hit the director title, which I have to say, our team started February 7th. We have at least 70 people that have earned that $1,000 check in such a short time, right? So that's always wild to me. And then you get the 1,000, and then bronze directors 1,000. We had people that have earned the 2,000, so that's 4,000 total. We have people that have earned platinum directors, so that's 8,000 total. And I'm a vice president, so you can do the math there. Our upline has earned the $500,000 total. So this is potential to me. When I think of our upline and her cashing that check, I think how she just joined, 4 years ago. And I'm like, oh my gosh, so are you telling me that if I like grind hard for like 4 or 5 years, that could potentially happen? Who knows? But it's still amazing to think about, right? And so you see in the background here, I have these big checks hung up. It's the director up to the diamond. I haven't got the vice president one yet, but it's really cool. It's like a publisher's clearinghouse thing. You also they have gifts that start and not even below these levels, because there's certain, you can get more percentages. So I'm going to say there's so many gifts here. I feel like I have gotten more freebies here in 7 months than I did in 7 years. I have a drawer full of freebies that I can either sell on product, sell at retail or whatever. It's really, really amazing. We also have trips built into our compensation plan. Plus, we have some not in the compensation plan. So we just went to Mexico in June. That was one that anyone of any level could earn. And then they're probably going to announce another one really, really soon. But also we have these that are built into the compensation plan. The Leadership Academy is actually going to take place. They do it twice a year, I believe November and April. The next one's going to be in November. We have girls on our team that are going there. You go to Miami, they pay for your room and board there, your dinners, and you get 2 days of learning. You get to lock arms, get close with the CEO and people, and just kind of, work on your leadership stuff. Then, and I'm going to tell you, these are not like high ranks to get it. This is like beginning leadership. Trip to Turkey too. The trip to Turkey I got to take, we had a dozen girls earn it, but you can pass. So we had 4 of us go. And what I have to say about this trip to Turkey, there was 300 influencers. And again, it was a trip that most companies would reserve for their tippy top leadership. So to have it at middle level leadership was really impressive to me. And again, no expense. They're flying you there. You're staying in like Ritz-Carlton type hotels. They plan the agenda. They spoil you like crazy. Then they also have a convention experience, which I got to take part of. That was pretty cool. I've been to a lot of conventions. I've never had my convention experience covered. And then they have European destination, and then they have a tropical destination, which this year it's in the Maldives. So yeah, that's just also built in. And look some of these up on YouTube. It's really unbelievable. How do you get started? You're going to choose your pack. Let's go and see here. All right, I think I may have to update this because we just updated our pack, but there's a few different pack options. So there's some that are built for you. We have a nutrition pack, a makeup pack, a skincare pack. So those are ready made. You can just grab one of those and then get started. Your 50% commission, start earning that, start shopping at 50%. Or you can grab this $20 starter kit and then start shopping at 50% off. So either one, if you don't want to do any brain work, I would say grab one of the ready-made packs. What's really cool about this is you do get personal volume on the product pack. So caveat, you're not going to get personal volume on the $20 kit because it's samples. You're never going to get PV on samples. However, what I always tell people to do, if they've been looking at their website, they're making a list, grab the sample kit and then add 125 PV of product to it. You're shopping at 50% off. So that's really $250 in retail. Because when you do that, then you're going to unlock, let's see if I got it here. Do I have it? Yeah, you're going to unlock a free full blast mascara. And then this month, there's also, once you're at 125, you're going to be able to add a tea tree serum or a full size shampoo. So if you get in right now this month, like I said, it's September 24th, and you pass that 125 on your first order, you're also going to get the option to add that full blast mascara and tea tree to your kit. So that's tons of freebies. And I always say 125 is the magic number of our compensation plan because that's how you earn these freebies right here. So see, so you already hit it in your first order in month 1. You do it again in month 2, you're going to get a full hair set. Month 3, this magic elixir literally does everything. And month 4 is a cute bag. And that's like the minimum. 125 also, you don't have any requirements to stay active or anything monthly, but 125 PV keeps your account for 6 months. So knock that out in your first order and then dive in. You don't have to stress about it ever again. Now you have product, you're ready to go. I'm always going to keep it honest with you. If you want to make this a business site or not, you do need some product to start with. I'm going to just be flat out. It's going to be really hard to do it with just samples. And that's just me. Can it be possible? Absolutely. But you have more chance of being successful if you can actually use some products to take people on your journey. People want to trust you, right? So I'm not saying get a credit card, go into debt. Just grab one of the kits, you know what I mean? Or if you 5 things or whatever that looks like. And then that also sets you up just for success to maximize the compensation plan. 125, there's always perks around it. They're always doing, our uplines have contests around it. The company has different things around it, helps you get paid, keeps you active on your downline, all that good stuff. So we have tools. So you're like, oh my gosh, I signed up. What if how do I do this? Da, 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 da. You're never going to feel like alone here. I promise you. There's never lack of resources. Just how this call is a resource, right? We didn't have to do it, but we have it. They're scheduled. We have them regularly. We also have a plug and play system where if you sign, we're like, okay, you sign up. Okay, now do this. It's going to walk you through a checklist, right, on what you need to do next for your business. Our team has onboarding calls. The company has onboarding calls. You get your free personal website. There's an app there is a full dashboard in the back office that can help with everything. A content library, we have a digital catalog, more tools. Actually, they just announced at convention to help our business. One of my favorite quotes from business is they're always going to be innovating because they want to make our business simpler, because the more simple it is, the more easier it is to duplicate. So launching October 1st, we're also going to have like a makeup try on where any of your customers can see what different shades look like in foundation or lipstick. We're also going to have a Farmasi version of ChatGPT where you can ask it any questions. They just added a Farmasi assistant, which helps you if you want to email, people and all. So there's just always so many tools. I'm going to say if fear of not being supported is one of your objections, just throw that out the window, because if anything, you're like, oh my gosh, there's so many resources. Where do I start? And we help you with that. We tell you what to do next, try some product, post this, show up for this call. And we have a bunch of different tools to help you. There's also, our team has a Facebook group and the company has a Facebook group. They also have a broadcast on WhatsApp anytime they drop a promo. You also can sign up for emails. You also can sign up for texts. There's also notifications on the app. So there's so many places to dig and get updates and stuff from the company. And so the next question is, are you ready to say yes to Farmasi? I'm going to tell you guys, I did a lot of research when I had to decide which company I was going to come to, and I'm so glad I'm here. It definitely, and I'm not the only leader that has moved here, and there's many different reasons, but I think the biggest one is it is simple. There's a lot of stability around it, but also like, what's the worst thing that can happen if someone signs up? You get some product at half off. That's literally the worst thing. Good product at half off. That's literally the worst thing that can happen. You get some good makeup and skincare at a discount. I mean, if that's the worst thing that's going to happen, just think of like what the best thing could be. I think a lot of us have been surprised on what the best thing could happen. I did not think what's happened with me would happen in an amount of time. So many people on the team, and so you might surprise yourself. So I would say, bet on yourself. If the worst thing that could happen is you're going to get good product at 50% off, I would say just do it. You probably have paid for something worse. There's not going to be a website fee. You're not going to have any major losses. You're not going to have a yearly fee. There's no catches. I promise you're going to look for catches. There aren't any. So just grab your kit, ask the person who sent you this call or invited you, say, okay, I'm ready. Let's go. And I hope to see you on the team page and the team chats. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us. Welcome to Farmasi. Bye, guys.